with China, who were just ripping us off left and right, and making sure that Russia never went into Ukraine, which they didn't under our auspices, and you know, a lot of other things. There were a lot of things that were happening in the world, as you probably know, and I did a good job. I got rid of those problems. Today, those problems are very prevalent.
So you were too busy for the company?
In a way,
Back
yeah.
to the form.
Yeah, I think you could say it. It's another way of saying it. I was very busy. I considered this the most important job in the world, saving millions of lives. I think you would have had nuclear holocaust if I didn't deal with North Korea. I think you would have had a nuclear war if I weren't elected. And I think you might have a nuclear war now, if you want to know the truth.
I'm not going to use my 7 hours on nuclear war, but
no, I know that. No.
Can I ask, though, it sounds like maybe a few things might bubble up. You said you were very rarely involved. Were there things that sort of came to your attention during your presidency that you recall?
I can virtually not think of anything. I would say that the thing that I was most involved is telling them just don't do deals. We don't need deals. We have a lot of property. They're great properties. Run them. And, you know, we have great properties. We have the Mona Lisas of properties. We have properties that make money, but you can sell them for many, many times because of the quality of the property, like a Turnberry in Scotland. I could sell that. That's like selling a painting. A painting on a wall that sells for $250 million and doesn't make income. It just sits on a wall, but it sells for numbers. I have some of the greatest pieces of property in the world, and they sell as Mar-a-Lago, some of the things I own in Europe, some of the things I own in New York. Even like a Trump Tower is 57th and 5th. It's the best location. 40 Wall Street is the best location, great building. I have great assets. I was never so interested in buying, as an example, a warehouse building in Brooklyn, which you'd look at, you know, X times the rent. I have assets that which if I ever sold them, I don't want to sell any of them, but if I ever sold them, if I ever put some of these things up for sale, I'd get numbers that were staggering. Mar-a-Lago would be a case. I think Turnberry would be a case in Scotland. It's a part of the Rota. The Rota is, I believe, the seven courses that play the British Open, which is called the Open Championship, which is the biggest of all tournaments. And that's one of the places, one of the seven, I believe it's seven, that are approved for it. And they've been approved for 100 years. They've been approved for a long time. You don't just get on the list. And they had 4 British Opens there at Turnberry, and they had what is considered to this day the Duel in the Sun, the greatest tournament ever played. I don't know if you know golf, but Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson. And you know, these are things that have a tremendous value to rich people. That, you know, if it makes $2 million or $3 million, and therefore would be worth $30 million or $40 million, I think you could sell it for $400 or $500 or $600 million, because it's a painting. They're the Mona Lisas. They're the Renoirs of property. Many of my properties. And somehow, I wasn't interested in properties that didn't have that intrinsic value, or that couldn't have if they were properly run. In many cases, rebuilt. I rebuilt 40 Wall Street as an example, and it was an empty building. I bought it for very little, and now it's, I think, pretty well full, even in this market. But at some point, if the city ever comes back, I could say that with a lot of things. I could say that, like, if the city ever comes back, you could convert the entire tower of 40 Wall Street into condos and make an absolute fortune, far greater than the $500 or $600 million probably that the building's worth now, maybe more than that. But you'd make a fortune on the condos. I could say that with Seven Springs. When I bought Mar-a-Lago, I paid $8 million for it. And today, I think we're going to be bringing in people that will tell you it's worth $1.25 billion, $1.5 billion, maybe more than that. But I bought it for $8 million in 1985 or so. And I believe that Seven Springs could be that if New York would ever get its act together, which is a big if, because I just don't know that they will. They spend all their time investigating me instead of stopping violent crime in the streets. But if New York ever got their act together, if the city ever came back, Seven Springs is the Mar-a-Lago of New York. It's the most incredible place, and I think it has a great value.